Good day, YouTube. This is just a bit of a quick fun video on Garuda Linux. Now, what is Garuda Linux? Because it is actually a very popular distribution. It's been around for a bit of a while, but only become popular quite more recently there. Now, starting off, Garuda Linux is actually based on Arch Linux, but its focus is really on having a what you might call just a graphical user interface to install Arch Linux. If any of you out there have attempted to install Arch Linux previously, you'll find that it's quite difficult. A lot of it's through the command line, that sort of thing. Well, Garuda Linux does away with all that there. Now, let's have a look at what we're dealing with under the hood. So if we were to have a look at the kernel, it's actually running on 5.13, which is good to see. Almost the latest and greatest, which I really like to see there. In terms of the desktop environments, there is actually quite a few different ones. Now, this is actually the KDE desktop environment, a bit of a customized version of it, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty nice. But you can get pretty much any version of the desktop environment that you like, really. So you can get KDE, you can get LXQTE, you can get GNOME, you can get XFCE, Fluxbox Link. The list goes on. It's really quite cool, all the options that you have with this operating system here. When it comes to software and things of that nature there, this is where it also gets pretty interesting. So there is actually I don't believe they call it a wizard, but there is like a setup wizard that you can use the first time you set it up, and you can select any of the software that you want. Now, this might sound a bit boring, but it's quite interesting because I learned a lot of new software pieces, and I really want to find that now. But Setup Assistant, that's the one there. So it talks about Office suites, the different ones that you can get, different browsers, web browsing, that sort of thing. Doesn't sound exciting, but once you go through it, it actually explains in brackets pretty much what each and every piece of software is and what it's designed to do. For example, if it's an Office suite, then it's all about being compatible with Microsoft Office. If it's a browser, it's like if it's focused on security, all sorts of things like that. If it's Android apps, it shows you what's available to actually run Android apps on the actual operating system itself. So it's very quite cool there. But I'm really talking enough. What I'll do just lastly is have a look at the usage here. So the CPU, it was 1% a moment ago. Now it's running something in the background there, but it is a little bit heavy on the operating system, or the RAM, I should say. So this is actually the KDE desktop environment. So it's sitting at about a gig of RAM. There are lighter versions of desktops, but for the desktop environments. But yeah, it just depends on what you want. But a very, very cool operating system indeed. I can absolutely see why it's starting to become one of the most popular, at least rated by DistroWatch, an online website there. I think it's in 9th place. So this is really, really cool. So thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I do hope to see all you guys there in the next one. Cheers.